This lecture is in continuation with the lecture number 8 part 1 of the unit number 4, and in this lecture we are going to learn how to implement Android fragments. Right, so here I have created one Android application with name Fragments. So you can create a new application, give a name to it as a Fragments, and then your application will be created. Now here there are three .java files. First one is details fragment.java, which is this one. Another is list menu fragments.java and main activity.java. So whenever you create your new application, then by default main activity.java and in layout folder activity underscore main.xml, these two files will be by default created by the Android setup, right? And remaining files, for example these two fragments and these its relevant layout, should be created by us explicitly, right? Now I will show you an image what we are going to implement in this particular practical. It will be clear for you. So today you are going to implement a fragment example whose user interface looks like this one. Okay, so here this total screen, this rectangle is activity, and in activity there is one text view, that is fragments in Android. It is the text property of that particular text view, and there are two controls, or you can see it is a fragment. So this one is called as the list view fragment, and this one is called as the detail view fragment. Okay, so we are going to implement such a type of user interface. Coming to your Android Studio IDE. Now first of all we will see the layout files, so that you will have a clear idea about the user interface, right? So in activity underscore main dot xml, here we are combining two fragments. That's why it's better before going into detail of the activity underscore main dot xml, we need to focus on the remaining two fragments, right? So first of all I will explain you list items underscore info dot xml. Okay, so this list items underscore info dot xml is the concerned XML or layout file of list menu fragment dot java file, right? And if you see its text view, there is one linear layout, and under linear layout its orientation is set as a vertical, and only one control is there, that is a list view. Okay, so list view has ID of given as a list, and its width and height is set to the match parent, and height is set to the wrap content, so that depending upon the size of its content, height will be adjusted. And as far as width is concerned, whatever width of the activity, hosting activity, it means in which that particular fragment is embedded, its width will be same as that of its activity, right? So it's very simple layout definition. And if we see design view of this particular list items underscore info dot xml file, it will look like this one. Okay, so here one list box is inserted here, and item 1, item 2, item 3 likewise, and in under that sub item 1, sub item 2 likewise. This whole screen is occupied by a list box or list view, right? Then we will see details underscore info dot xml layout file, and this layout file is related to the details fragments dot java file. Okay, so I will open this one, and here there is nothing to see, only a blue only activity whose background is a blue color is shown in this figure. But it's not like that. If we see a text view of this particular layout file, we come to know that there is a linear layout, and in a linear layout Also orientation is set to the vertical, and there are two controls, and both are the of type text view. Okay, so first text view is used for name. It means its id is given as a name. Then width and height are set to the wrap content. It has some text color also, which is a white in this case, and text size of 20 dp. Text style is bold. So these are various attributes, which are attributes or properties which are defined for that particular text view, and its top margin is 50 pixels, whereas left margin is 50 pixel. It means both margins are same. Okay, and here there is nothing to see. But if we set a text property like this one, then you will see some text into this particular fragment. Okay, this is a fragment, and this fragment contains two text view. This is first text view whose text property is set to xxx, and this is second text view whose property is set to yyyy. Now see here, its top margin is 50 pixel, and left margin is also 50 pixel of text view 1. That is why from top 50 pixel have been left, and from left also 50 pixel have been left for the view 1, whereas for text view 2 x coordinates will be same, that is 50 pixels, whereas y coordinate will be somewhat more than that of the first text view. So you see here its left margin is same as that of the previous one, and in as far as top margin is concerned, there is no need to give a top margin, because if you see carefully here, this is a linear layout, and its orientation is set to the vertical. Okay, that is why automatically second control will be placed below the first control, right? Hence here the second text view is shown below the first text view by default. But if we want to give some top margin, then we can do it depending upon a requirement. For example, if I set its text proper say layout underscore margin top property to 50 pixel, then see what will be changed. Then its distance between these two text boxes, text views have been increased. Okay, so in this way you can set your layout depending upon your requirement. You can make it more decorative as per your wish. So I will delete right now for now, and I will left there. I will not set any top margin for this particular two text. Okay, but initially it was text property was set to the blank. Why? Because our functionality is like that one. Suppose this is your when you run your application, it will look like this one. Okay, and as soon as user click on this particular name in the list box, then this second fragment will display the details about that particular result. It means name of the user and location to which that particular user belongs to. In this case, Praveen is selected, and his name is Praveen, and his location is Bangalore. Okay, so this is a dynamic text, and this see here, this is the text view 1 whose id is name, and this is text whose id is name, and this is a text view whose id is the location, which is this one. Okay, and its the text property is going to set dynamically or programmatically at runtime whenever the user clicks on this particular list box, and depending upon the selection, text property of this text view will be set programmatically at a runtime, and that is why it's initially I have given its text property to blank. Or even if you don't take this particular text property at all, then it will be okay, there will be no problem in your application. but for clear understanding why it is taken, that is why I have taken this text property to demonstrate to you what is its purpose. Because if you see only this blank blue screen, you will not be get what it is actually, right. So we have seen the layout of the fragment 1 and fragment 2. So in this case, this is a fragment 2 and this is the fragment 1. So how we are going to decide which fragment is 1 and which fragment is 2? Its reason is for that we need to go into the activity underscore main.xml file. Okay. If you see here, it's a text view, then see there is one relative layout, and here are some lot of properties for margin and padding and etc etc. Then next control in this main activity underscore main.xml file is that it is a text view. Okay. Now I am not going to explain each and every property of this text view. You know very well what are these different properties of the text view. So simply I will explain in short. So text ID of this text view is text view 1, and its text property is set to the fragments in Android. Right? Text style is bold. Text size is 20 sp. SP means scalable pixel. Is it is same as that of the DP, which stands for density independent pixel. If you see design, here we are able to see fragments in Android. So this is a text view which we have defined at this particular location. Now secondly, we have taken one fragment control using a fragment tag in the our layout file. It means activity underscore main.xml file, right. So fragment has its ID like a fragment. We can see it a fragment 1 also, or simply fragment will be okay. Its height is set to the match parent. It means whatever height of the hosting activity will be there, height of this fragment will be same as that of its hosting activity. Okay, but see here, its width, layout underscore width is set to the 130 dp. Okay, this is because now this whole rectangle, this whole white rectangle is the screen that belongs to main activity, and in main activity there is one text view control, as well as in main activity we are embedding two fragments. Okay, so this is the first fragment. If you click on this, it will be clear for you. And this first fragment is used to display a list view or list box that contains the name of users. Okay, and our requirement is that our user interface should look like this one. It means width of the list view should be somewhat less than as that of the width of the detail view or detail view fragment. That is why here in main activity underscore main.xml file, we have set the width of this fragment to the 130 dp, because we have to set this fragment for displaying a list view. But here in the main.activity activity.java file, whenever you call find view by id function, then we have to pass the resource id of this particular fragment for the list view, right. Then second fragment is here, whose id is fragment 2. Now see, its height is set to the match parent and width is set to the match parent also, because there is no need to set a particular particular value or the value of width of this second fragment. This is because we have set its this layout, it means layout underscore to the right of, it means we are placing this fragment 2 to the right side of the fragment 1, because here we have specified the id of this fragment. Okay, for more clarity I will change its id. So this is fragment 1 and this is fragment 2, and this fragment 2 is going to place to the right of fragment 1. That is why automatically this fragment 2 will start from the right side of this fragment 1. Okay, this is fragment 1 and this is fragment 2. Okay, that's why there is no need to specify left margin for the fragment 2. But here in both cases of fragment 1 and fragment 2, height is set to the match parent. But still, if we see its design view, then both fragments have been started, have not started from the beginning of the activity height. Okay, so as per our definition, it should be started from here, but it is not like that, and this is because if you see carefully its definition, then here for fragment 1 we have set or we have positioned fragment 1 below the text view 1. Okay, and text view 1 is this one, and below this we have positioned fragment 1 as well as a fragment 2. If you see in case of fragment 2 also, see here layout underscore below, and we are specifying the idea of the text view 1. That is why both fragments have been shown or placed below this particular text view. Again we have set top margin of these both fragments to the 10 dp. Okay, see here, so Android colon layout underscore margin top is set to the 10 dp. That is why this fragment 2 is shown by leaving 10 pixels from the fragment not fragment 1, from the text view 1 in this direction. Okay, here some space has been left, and similarly here fragment 1 also have set the top margin as a 10 dp. That is why here both fragments have been placed below this text view with the 10 pixels top margin, and that is why even if its height of the both fragment is set to the match parent, but actually they are started from this particular location due to their definition which we have defined in the layout file, right? So we have declared two fragment layout, and in one activity we have embedded both the fragments as I said earlier, or as I explained earlier. Now we will see the code for main activity dot java file. Okay, so there is nothing special to see in this particular main activity dot java file code. It's simply whatever by default code is there, it is shown here. Okay, for example, there is an onCreate callback method which will be called whenever the activity is created first, and set content view. This is the predefined function or method which sets whatever definition you have created in your layout file, that layout will be set to this particular activity. In this case, r.layout.activity underscore main is specified to the set content view method. It means whatever definition we have defined in the activity underscore main.xml file, it means this file here, this layout will be set to this particular main activity. And what you have defined here, there is one activity, and in the one activity at the top there is one text view whose text is fragments in Android, and here below that we have embedded two fragments. One is from at the left side and another is at right side. Okay, whereas the width of the both fragments varies depending upon our requirement. Okay, so this view or this layout will be set to this main activity.java code whenever this application is running on emulator or the smartphone, right? Now we will see the code about for the list menu fragment. Okay, as you see here, there are some, these are some input statement which are required to run your program properly, and this particular class, say list menu fragment, is extended or inherited from the list fragment which is built-in class in the Android. Okay, and task of this list view list menu fragment is that to show the list view that contains name of users onto the activity screen or fragment screen. Okay, and for that we have created two string arrays. So first one is for users, and this is the names of users. We have created static arrays of strings like Shashi, Rohini, Trisha, and likewise. Similarly, we have created another string array called as location, and this particular array contains the locations where that those particular users resides or belongs to. Okay, and here we are considering this is index to index mapping. For example, considering array index starts at the 0 index. So here 0 element of 0 index resides at the location which is indicated by the 0 index of the location array. Similarly, nth minus 1 user that resides at nth minus 1 index in the users array will be located or belongs to the nth minus 1 in with the element which is indicated by the nth minus 1 index of the location array. It means in other words we can say this Shashi lives in Pune, whereas this Trisha lives in Hyderabad, whereas this Vaidehi, if you see its index, so 0 1 2 3 4 5, and if you see the location index in the location array, so 0 1 2 3 4 5, so Vaidehi will live in the Nagpur city. That is why we have declared two string arrays, and then see on this on create view function. Okay, so this is again callback method that is called whenever this list fragment is created first. It is same as that of the on create function, and this on create view function is used to initialize the element of your fragment. Okay, so in this case this fragment is going to show the list view. That is why it should be initialized in this particular on create view function. Okay, and if you see here in theoretical explanation we have seen the various parameters of this on create view method. So first parameter is the layout inflator, another is the view group, and third one is the bundle, right? So first of all, the inflator class maps whatever layout you have defined for that particular fragment in by using the inflate method. Okay, and this inflate method returns the object of type view. That is why here we are collecting the return value of this inflate function into the view object. Okay, so here see what is the statement actually. Inflator is a class which will we receive whenever this callback method is called. We will receive its object into as its parameter. It has some specific values. It means inflator has some specific values, container has some specific values, similarly for this third element or third parameter as well. Okay, so inflator dot inflate, and here there are three parameters. So first parameter we are passing is that this is the resource ID of our fragment layout. It means r dot layout dot list items info, list items underscore info. Okay, so this list items underscore info is represent it will represents the this particular file list items underscore info dot xml. Okay, so whatever layout we have defined here, this layout will be set to this particular list menu fragment class or list fragment class, right? And the next what we are going to do, here we are declaring one array adapter. Okay, so array adapter is nothing but it holds some source of data for the list view to show in their pan as their items. Okay, so for example, if you see here, here are the usernames Shashi, Rohini, Trisha, Satish, Vaidi, likewise. But here list box by default will not contain these particular names. Okay, so these names somewhere it should be stored, and that is why here we are declaring one array adapter and which accepts string names. Actually, it is a template. We can pass any value here. String, it may be integer or it may be some double value as well. So in this case, our requirement is a string name. That is why we are passing string argument to the array adapter. Okay. So array adapter is equal to new array adapter, and then this particular constructor of this array adapter accepts three arguments or parameters. First one is the activity in which that particular list box is to be shown. So it is achieved by this using this get activity function. Then second argument is the list box which we want to show, list box or list view which we want to show in that particular fragment or activity. So here we are passing android dot r dot layout dot simple underscore list underscore item underscore 1. Okay, so which type of list items we want to show, it can be specified using this second parameter. Now this is predefined string. If we delete this and then I will type it here, see, simple underscore list under item underscore 2, likewise activity underscore list underscore item, there are some predefined inbuilt types. Okay, so here we are selecting this first one which shows you list items in a simple way. It means only it is it is simple list items representation. In some cases list items or list view items may contain double rows. It means first row will be somewhat bold and more in size, whereas second row will be smaller in size. In another case, list items may contain some icons followed by some text. Okay, so depending upon our requirement, we can specify type of the list item which we want to display in the list view, right? So here this array adapter requires activity which we have obtained using the get activity. Second is the how our list item should be look like, that is specified by this second item. And third one is the actual source of the that list items. Okay, it means this array adapter from which source it should be fetches the list items names. Okay, it may be in database or it may be in some static arrays or it may be some other resource will be there, right? And in this case we are going to collect the name of users from the array, string array whose name is users. Here we have specified this users name array. That is why here we are specified source of the list box names as users. Okay, so all these names will be associated with this particular array adapter, right? It means all these names will be placed into this array adapter properly, and then here the set list adapter function of this list fragment class will assigns this array adapter to this particular list fragment, because we are passing adapter as a parameter to the set list adapter function.